I thought I'd show you one of the articles that I made for my blog. I have one is called greencheck.nl. I write in Dutch and in English. Here's a topic that I haven't really thought about until a family member of mine told me that somebody told her that global warming was not a problem, the cooling of the Earth's core was a problem. Apparently, if you start looking into the effects on the Earth of global warming, there are several kinds of them. Of course, one is in the biosphere, and that's what I talk about a lot. But of course, you're also talking about removing a lot of oil from the ground and putting it into the atmosphere, adding weight. But more significantly, of course, you melt water, ice, and that's a huge amount of weight that has been concentrated in one area or another. And well, the Earth is of course a little bit like a swimming pool with stuff floating on top. It's not a solid thing; it's a liquid thing inside. If you go deeper than 35 kilometers, I believe it's all liquid. And there's lots of reports of seismic activities. Well, the graph you see here shows that seismic activities have been increasing steadily since in this graph since 81. So that you have here you have 100 and well, say this is 300 seismic events of a Richter scale 5.5 or more, and well, this year we have had more than 800 seismic events of the Richter scale of 5.5. And it's not surprising, because if you start digging into it, the amount of displacement expected is amazing. First of all, you have mountains that are getting taller because the glaciers are melting. But if you look at the North Pole, here at the same time the disappearance of ice caps will change the pressure acting on the Earth's crust and set off volcanic eruptions across the globe. As the land rebounds back up, the weight of the ice that has been removed, which could be I'm not reading this right, but could be by as much as a kilometer in places such as Greenland and Antarctica. And this is going really fast, so the ice is disappearing really fast, which means that let's say the pressure from inside the Earth on the surface, on the top layer, which is really thin, must be enormous quite quickly. And if you get a displacement of a kilometer of a piece of land, it's very hard to, well, I'm not a geologist, but one could easily imagine that this would not really go smoothly, but would cause all kinds of cracks. Here's a little YouTube video. I'm not sure if this will be rendered right, but
uptick in earthquake activity. Then there was just the plume that appeared in Southern California. There's also talk of Cleveland volcano in Alaska, and also Pu'u'o'o in Hawaii is getting ready to hold.
Pu'u'o'o. But this guy is talking about large eruptions in the region of Japan, and then he shows you the whole the whole seismic activity in every seismic magnitude range, so it doesn't really have to mean that it's enormous. But there is one thing that eventually, so this is all result, and this is all brought into association with global warming and climate change. Melting of the ice caps is a result of climate change, of global warming, of the carbon dioxide emissions. That is 100% sure. So what does this mean eventually? And that's the worrying conclusion, of course, is that you will have a high likelihood of triggering earthquakes and volcanic eruptions in the near future, as the Earth is readjusting to the fact that the ice is being melted and the weight has been redistributed. Of course, the water ends up in the ocean, so that's becoming heavier as well. To end with some kind of climax here, of course there is one big volcano that has to erupt, because it says here it's 650 years ago that it erupted, and it erupts every 600,000 or 650,000 years ago that it erupted last, and it's now 600,000 years ago. And that's the Yellowstone caldera. The caldera is of course the dried up volcanic remnant. It is a volcano. It's a huge volcano. If it erupts, North America is destroyed. So, theoretically, and I'm not very optimistic most of the times anyway, global warming, climate change caused by the use of fossil fuels, caused by a dominating banking system that basically pushed for its own profit and its own benefit, pushed the use of fossil fuels to the maximum in the shortest possible time. We not only have a high likelihood of killing all life on Earth because of the oceans that are dying and the toxic gases that will be emitted from that, but we're actually possibly are triggering catastrophic volcanic events, geological events that will surely, and if the Yellowstone caldera goes, will surely destroy a lot of life. It's also so usually the relationship is that an eruption of the Yellowstone caldera, or an explosion you would have to say, would cause catastrophic climate change and darkening of the skies and death of most life, as it has done before. But this time it might be the other way around. Maybe it will be. So this is my happy news for today. Thanks for listening, and go to the blog and click on the ads and stuff like that, because I can use that money.